Series from Jennerstown Speedway. Chase to the Checkered is brought to you by Pizza Hut. Sometimes you've got to stop and smell the pizza. And by Chevrolet and your local Chevrolet Geo dealer, the official vehicle of Jennerstown Speedway.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's program. I'm Mike Nelson, and beside me always is... He's not here, guys. Oh, he'll be back after... Oh, after the break? Okay. Anyway, welcome to Chase to the Checkered. We're glad you could join us. For the next 30 minutes, we're going to have the NASCAR Winston Racing Series 4-division action of the Giant Auto Parts Pure Later Late Models, Pro Stocks, Riverside Bilo Street Stocks, and the Pure Stocks presented by Winston Select. All this action taking place on Saturday, August 27th. Also, at the very beginning of the show, when we come back from our commercial break, we're going to have the rained-out portion of the 27th annual Laurel Highlands event for the Riverside Bilo Street Stocks, that 50 lapper that we missed. Steve Richard, my co-host, will be right back with me. Stay with us. We'll be back after these messages.
This is KAPZ News. We just arrived.
I noticed its spaceship-like design.
I was strangely attracted to it.
I said, Vern, that is not a pizza.
Introducing the Pizza Hut Bowlie. Pizza toppings, cheese, and sauce in a mysteriously tasty crust. Now one Bowlie is $4.99. Bowlie, it's out of this world.
I believe it was brought here as a sign of peace.
Oh. Bowlie, reportedly seen in meaty, classic, and pepperoni mushroom varieties.
Cruise into your local Chevrolet Geo dealer now for the all-new Camaro.
Do you want a career that's in demand? Consider training as an automotive technician. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, demand is rising for skilled automotive technicians. National education centers can train you to become part of this growing field. You'll learn how to diagnose and repair today's complex mechanical and electronic automotive systems. Everything you need to get started as an automotive technician. This is a great career. Call NEC's Vail Technical Institute campus today. Call 1-800-722-7337. 1-800-722-7337. Call now.
Well, hello there. We're back, and I do mean we, as Steve Richard has been able to join me here for this Riverside Bilo Street Stocks. This is the makeup 50-lap Laurel Highlands event from them that we lost on last week's racing. There's a look at the top three rows. Not there with the intro of the show. Did you work overtime at the asbestos factory?
Yes, we're back. We're all in good shape right now, and I understand next week you're going to be the one who's going to be getting the plate in your head shifted over to the right just a bit. But no, hey, it's time to go racing. This is the biggest event of the years for these street stock pilots. Dusty Rhodes, Mark Corden in the front row bring the field up to speed, and as someone I know would like to say, it looks like a high-speed parade lap. We're bumper to bumper, fender to fender, nobody about to give an inch.
Well, as they do that, you certainly have nailed that one down just right. Look at those top 8 rows. They haven't moved anywhere. And I don't know if that's just like running along in a highway or not, but, oh, we try to break it 3 wide there momentarily. Yvette Hahn out there in the 65, that black and blue car, black and blue. She doesn't want to end up black and blue from all the bumper antics that could be going on in this event. As we continue high flying, Dusty Rhodes in a Family Diner 23, a rookie out there leading this most prestigious event with another rookie in this division, a 30, Mark the Cover Corden works the outside of that automobile, while Yvette Hahn does an outstanding job of holding on. This is only about her 4th race ever on the pavement, and she says, well, I've got to just keep up with the pace here. I'm going to lose everything. A lot of talent behind him. Mark Birkin is 73, Rick Meehlab 37. We move on, though. This is a battle for the lead on lap 4.
Same
still
cars.
Dusty Rhodes, and yeah, it still looks like the same parade lap, and here comes a 30 of Corden.
And it is Corden with a bit more experience in the pure stock over Rhodes, who does manage to make the move, grooming that high outside line, but he really does not have that much of a clear advantage. Rhodes is not about to give up the ghost. He's going to try and make a comeback, but finally, about a half lap later, it is Corden on the point position. And look at this flock of cars. You mentioned the names before. We have Sean the Bullet Beam, as well as Yvette Hahn, back in that field, just trying to work their way up toward the front, but it's such a traffic jam, no one can really make a move.
Well, here's 1 lap later. We're going to take it right to a call. Here comes Brian Audie's bringing Sean the Bullet Beam. Here comes Rick Ball. Look at Yvette Hahn sandwiched right there between Dave Wilt, the outside, and a 37. We're still 3 wide out of 4. Oh, we hit tires. Oh, my goodness. Look out. Oh, down the front straight. Uh-oh, we're not done yet. Oh, boy, do we get out of this one smelling like a rose.
Smells more like burning rubber with those tires rubbing out there, Mike. Fortunately, both drivers are okay. They will rejoin the field, but we're going to move on in the event. This is lap 20. Battle for the lead on the point position. It is the Cobra Mark Corden, and working the high line, we can just see there, entering in turns 1 and 2, Sean, the Bullet Beam. He's working that high line right up on the back bumper of Corden and sliding underneath. Rick Milab is trying to put the moves on.
Oh, they're trying to make it 3 different grooves out there, Steve Reno. And Milab, the driver that's been the hottest thing in this division in the last 6 weeks, works the low side of Corden, and he'll struggle down the front straightaway. You know, you got to wonder, Corden and Beam right out there, they're doing double duty these days. Beam in that 15 will run a pro stock, and Corden still runs his pure stock as well, although he's pretty much a rookie when we talk about this type of racing machine. On the high side, and Rick Milab on the low side. Milab with the Stoystown out of records 37, breaks through for that point position. Look at the determined Cobra out there. Try to work on the outside and come right back, but he has to contend with Sean the Bullet Beam now. We move on, though. It's the lead battle, lap 33.
And it's the same 3 cars, and it's Milab now just by a nose as they cross the start-finish line. With the slightest advantage over Beam. Beam about is not going to give up any ground at all if he doesn't have to. He knows his back in front down the back straightaway, and we're looking at the flock of cars behind them. It's actually these 3 cars battling for that lead
Here
position.
Comes Marty Edwards in here, too.
You can't rule him out.
No, the 57 is making his presence known. Beam will go to the point position. He's a tough cookie to try to pass once he gets out there in the lead. And Marty Edwards comes into here to make it a 4-car deal. Now, we move on. We're coming around for the white flag lap. Things are down to this battle with 4 turns remaining, and it's another time for a call.
The Bullet has the lead. Rick Milab wants to strike. Milab goes down into 1 and 2. The Bullet stays up high. Milab with an effort. Cannot make it stick. A half a lap remaining. Rick Milab and Sean the Bullet Beam. They dive into turn 3 and 4. Here they go. Rick Milab with a desperate low side move. He's trying for it at the checkered, and it's going to be the Ford Beam with the win.
He's waving to the crowd. He had to wait an extra week, but he puts his name in the record books.
To the crowd?
Yes, he did. He waved as he went by the start-finish line. Sean Beam with the win in this 50-lap main for the Riverside Bilo Street Stocks. This is the makeup for the Laurel Highlands event.
So it's a prestigious event for this driver, and he writes his name in the history book. And we're going to go on to the regular scheduled racing of this week's program as Sean celebrates a victory lane. We move on to our fireworks division. These are the pure stock machines in their main event of the evening. It was the first event on the program for this evening. 15 circuit main. Have got to go get this, Steve Areno. 26 cars in the starting field. And there's a look of some pronunciation keys.
Eric Scomo, Elijah Hawatnik on the front row, followed by Shamus Davis Center and Scott, the Terminator 2, Kokenauer back in the 3rd row. With 26 cars in this field, Mike, I have a feeling we might be in store for some real fireworks tonight. That beautiful Camaro, 1994 Camaro, the pace car pulls off down into the pits, and it's up to speed and racing.
And not only up to speed and racing, but shuffling all over the place. Everybody looking out there like bowling pins being scattered in a controlled manner in one direction. And taking the lead is that yellow car, Eric Skuma. I say taking the lead just ever so slightly by half a car length over Elijah Hawatnik, something like that.
Very good. Very good.
Okay, the 22-year-old driver stays on the outside. Here comes Mike Davis in the 67. He dives to the low side. But as this field goes by and they go into turns 1 and 2, we do have a problem. We had a minor spin, so we go back to a restart here. And we started all over here, and this is up to speed. It's still Eric Scomo on the point, and everybody else getting by safely here. There's a look at Doug Shawless in the 7. That's Mitzi's brother out there fighting it out for a 6th place position as we go back to our leaders down the back straight. But we have a problem here. Speaking about Mitzi, she gets T-boned by Ryan Hildebrand in the 9.
Unfortunately, all the drivers okay, and this is one of our almost self-cleaning accidents. Almost everybody able to drive back and get into the group for racing, except Mitzi. We're going to move on in action just a couple laps later, and a battle for front place positions, number 30. Didn't we just see Mark the Cobra Corden a couple minutes ago?
Yeah, doing double duty. We talked about him. He's up high trying to make that move on the 67 of Davis, who conversely is working Skoma. And there's Terminator 2 you talked about in the lineup. In the 19, Scott Kokenauer, his younger brother, dirt tracking the car, trying to stay up with this force. Elijah Hawatnik in the 26, still there in 5th. But look at Davis and Skoma. They get together, and I don't think purple and yellow mix.
No, definitely not. Mark Corden says, I'll just kind of tuck in here behind Davis and follow my way through. Mike Davis, looking for a career first win here at Jennerstown, has been running well the last few weeks, but has yet to be able to pick up any sort of a feature win.
Well, as he continues leading out there, here comes the 19, the Jim's Auto and Truck Stop machine of Scott Kokenauer, and he works the low side. Dan Campbell coming into view here, Steve Reno. That's that blue and silver 93 machine. North Star Equipment machine is an outstanding ride for him, and he's always up there in front. But as we talk about being up front, Well, the 30 of Mark the Cobra Corden dives to the low side of Mike Davis, but Davis, that determined driver from Somerset, holds him off. The sophomore pilot out there, he just won't give that lead away. Very consistent driver, but so is the 30 machine with Mark the Cobra Corden. Now the Terminator gets to the outside of him, and we ought to start calling this the nickname division. We're going to move on, though. It's a lead battle 2 laps later.
And still on the point position, it is Mike Davis out of Somerset. Dan Campbell behind him. Mark the Cobra Corden is still there as well. Corden and Campbell both with feature wins, a number of them here at Jennerstown this year. And as we mentioned earlier, Davis still looking for that first feature win, trying to hold on for dear life. Gets up a little bit high in the turn, really dirt tracks the car. That allows Corden just that little bit of an edge, and he's going to take the lead, but just barely. And look who's right behind him. It is Dan Campbell.
Well, as Campbell works the low side, you'll notice this. Davis has been on the outside of this track. Sometimes there's, as he drops down to third, sometimes there's 2 and 3 wide racing all the way around. Now we're on again. This is lap 13, still the lead battle, and it's a 30 automobile of Mark the Cobra Corden from Stoystown. Continues leading, but we have a problem down the front straight. Buried to self, hits the inside retaining wall. He's dropped or ejected. It coughed up a tire.
There
it's
goes,
going for the light.
goes.
Will it hit the yellow light?
It climbs right over it.
Caution this, but we miss it. And we're going to have to, what is it? Tired of this edit. Wheel we go on.
Wheel we certainly will.
And it's the last lap.
And it's Mark the Cobra Corden on the point position. Dan Campbell trying everything he can think of to get that car to put some kind of a line, high or low, on the Cobra. But right now it's all Mark Corden as he works his way into the final set of turns. If nothing breaks on the car, he knows he's in good shape.
Now we had a problem there, but we're going to get a yellow checker, Steve.
Yellow checker because of the incident on the back. No problem for our leaders as they cross the finish line. And in case you didn't see it, it was Mark Corden picking up the win. Dan Campbell has to settle for second.
There's a look at the top 5 in this yellow checkered caution event. Mark the Cobra Corden winning over the rest of the field there. He's a happy fellow. Am I right? Is this guy a junior high school teacher or something like that?
Really not sure. I'll have to ask him. Hey, Mike, I'd like to meet some drivers. How about let's meet some Pro Stock drivers?
This race break is brought to you by Pizza Hut. Sometimes you've got to stop and smell the pizza.
This week on Chase to the Checkered, we thought you'd like the opportunity to see some of the drivers behind the wheels of those cars in our Pro Stock division.
Here's Rapid Robert Arsenberger, the winner of this year's Laurel Highlands event for the Pro Stocks in his Ford Thunderbird. The one to beat on a weekly basis is Somerset, Pennsylvania's Jeff Dunmar in the Six-Pack Shack and Sports Bar 07 Camaro. Chucky Kessler from White, Pennsylvania is always among the fastest in this division, while Larry Bahana has claimed ground this season in a top 5 position effort. Lawrence Stahl Jr. from Tower Hill, Pennsylvania is a newcomer to Pro Stock racing after graduating from Pure and Street Stock Division racing. Butch Durkis has seen victory lane this season with his Abriola Auto Parts Oldsmobile, and so has Denny Wingard in the Super Ford Thunderbird machine. From New Creek, West Virginia, it's Jerry Wisner, the flying Sunday school teacher. The driver of the Dunlow Transfer 19, Dynamite Don Wyatt. Elkie Cunningham comes to us each week from Hagerstown, Maryland, making the trip to run with us and has been running in the top 5 in the 94 season. A surprise newcomer to the Pro Stocks is former Street Stock ace Mike Heminger from Boswell, Pennsylvania. Finally, Somerset driver Dave Huff. He's always a consistent top 5 performer.
There's a look at some of our Pro Stock drivers. Next week, Steve Richard on Chase to the Checkered will go in behind the dashboards in our Riverside Bilo Street Stock division and take a look at some of those pilots.
This race break has been brought to you by Pizza Hut. Sometimes you've got to stop and smell the pizza.
This is KAPZ News. We just arrived at
I noticed its spaceship-like design.
I was strangely attracted to it.
I said, Vern, that is not a pizza.
Introducing the Pizza Hut Bowlie. Pizza toppings, cheese, and sauce in a mysteriously tasty crust. Now one Bowlie is $4.99. Bowlie, it's out of this world.
I believe it was brought here as a sign of peace.
Bowlie, reportedly seen in meaty, classic, and pepperoni mushroom varieties.
First you hear it,
Hardy fighting for his life, holding on to the lead, and everybody's challenging.
then you see it,
Durkis goes up high, Dunmar right there on the wall.
then you feel it. Great bone marrow. It's the NASCAR Winston Racing Series every Saturday at Jennerstown Speedway. Don't starve your senses. Bring your entertainment appetite and prepare to feast at Jennerstown.
Cruise into your local Chevrolet Geo dealer now for the all-new Camaro.
Speaking of Camaros, we're back, and there's ours with a lot of decals on it. The official pace car at Jennerstown from Chevrolet, the 1994 Camaro Z28. It's a good looker, and so is the field behind him of our giant Auto Parts Pure Leader late model machines in their 35-lap main. There's a look at the top 3 rows.
Ken Imler, Bobby Henry on the front row. Behind them, Glenn Galt, Clayton Houston, Jimmer Seeger, who again is running the Tony Raines ride, the ETR machine, and Rick Miller on his outside. It'll be up to those front 3 rows to bring the field up to speed. Charging Charlie Craig, and the dominant driver here at Jennerstown so far this season, and the Northeastern Division of the NASCAR Winston Racing Series, back in the pack. He's going to have to pick his way through traffic if he wants to win this race.
Oh, he'll have to get the oars out and row for a while to be able to get up to the front of the stream. We're going to look at this. Watch what happens here. The 87 of Ken Imler Jr., he gets a jump here on the 77 of Henry, and our flagman doesn't like it. Ron Brutt throws the yellow. Now, some drivers see the yellow and slow down. Some don't, including Craig. And look at him get on the binders here and smoke that 42 machine, as we almost have an incident. But we started all over again with the 87 of Imler, 77 of Bobby Henry. This time it's a clean start. Look for him to be side-by-side out of turn 4. They are. The green comes out. We're up to speed and racing.
Bobby Henry holding the point position. A flock of cars behind him. Ken Imler Jr. is trying to work his way back on the low side. He lost a little bit on that second start that we had, so to speak, and it is Henry holding the point position. Glenn Galt just behind him, and as the field works its way down the front straight, it is a battle intense without saying anything less than that. The Tony Raines machine, the ETR, the Roselli machine being driven by Jimmer Seeger, which performs here so well last week, is again trying to work its way toward the front of the field. Bobby Henry still with the lead, but as the field comes down the front straight, we go to a live call. Watch what happens behind the leader.
Oh, look at this. Trading 5. Look out. Down the front straight. Unbelievable. Well, we're still not done. Wow, how about that? No one bangs anything up.
Well, I don't think we could do that again if we try without damaging any car. Marhefka with a 360 and a 15 to Tadero doing a loop job there. No one getting into things. Back to action. It's the lead battle. The 87 of Ken Imler Jr. on the point. 32 of Glenn Galt. Double G's come up here. 75 of Audi. And here's charging Charlie Cragen. What an interesting situation and challenge he has tonight, because this is not his primary ride for Jennerstown.
We're used to seeing him in the 42, and his backup ride looks just like the ride that we normally see, but he blew the motor in his primary ride during hot lap. Something let loose on the motor, big trail of oil out of that, so he's in the backup, but it's performing very well. He grooms the high line outside of Audi. A lot of horsepower there, and the handling as well.
But I did notice one thing, Steve. About a half a lap ago in turn 1, smoke was trailing out of that 42 machine. We'll have to see if it happens again in this Kansas Fire Equipment car. He gets around the 75 Audi. Here we go into turn 1 again. A little bit more smoke, but that car's sticking like glue, so apparently it can't be something that serious. He closes up on Glenn Galt, the American Title and Trust 32 machine, the try to put an effort on him, and he does go around the outside there, and the camera pulling back gives you that view of what he's trying to make up on the leader, Ken Imler Jr. Well, you know, Imler's tough when he gets out front.
And we've seen them a couple of years ago, these two, because Cragen passes Galt into second place. Now, we have seen Cragen and Imler side by side. We move on in the event a few laps later, and this is the battle for the lead. This is what I was alluding to a few years ago. These two cars drove side by side for about 10 laps. Neither one wanted to give an inch, but Charging Charlie wastes very little time. They're diving literally to the low line and assumes the point position as the new leader, and he looks like he's well on his way to picking up yet another checkered here at Jennerstown. As a matter of fact, this is coming around for the checkered flag. Charging Charlie Cragen all by his lonesome out front, and he does. He picks up the win, his 10th at Jennerstown this season, 24th overall in Western Pennsylvania in the Northeastern region of the NASCAR Winston Racing Series.
He is in a position where I think he has to win just about every race through September 10th for this division to have a chance at the national championship, and he's been good on that. He won at Motordrome the night before this event. He continues that sweep, but we're going to move on.
And it's time now for our Pro Stock division. These are the cars that look identical to our Giant Auto Parts Pure Leader late models. The difference is really under the hood. It's the same suspension and chassis. As we take a look at our front 3 rows with Alki Cunningham and Brett Tressler on the front row. These cars not quite as fast as our late models, but actually within maybe a second of the speeds that our late models run in. There is some excellent driving in this division, great racing, wide diversity of talent from rookie to really experienced veteran pilots. And as we're up to speed in racing, let's take this event right into the live call.
No, into turns 1 and 2, everybody bunched up in a battle. It is Elke Cunningham out for the point position down the back straightaway. 20 Dave Huff goes into second here. Oh, 3 wide and 3, and we get by without a disaster. My, oh my.
Youch, what a squeeze job that is. You know what's always frightening about this division, Steve Reno? There's so much diversity of talent, maybe in the experience level. Some out there with a lot of experience, some with not too much experience, and it makes for some crazy position moves. We continue this event, the 47 Elke Cunningham with the lead. Well, Dave Halp in his, I guess you could call that his backup car, the black machine, after having that white one. Oh, they get together a little bit squarely. Elke Cunningham after that encounter in the 47 Super Ford machine of Johnstown, Pennsylvania's Danny Ware gets through, but look at everybody else trying to get under Cunningham there. Here comes the 07 of Jeff Dunbar. He makes his way through, and that's up to the 3rd place position, while Kessler in the 91 haunts the 49. We move on. This is the lead battle on lap 4. It is the Super Ford machine again of the former drag racer coming down the front straightaway, Denny Wingard.
Wingard has been running very well this year, although he has had some setup problems with the car. That seems to be the problem with that red number 49 is not the horsepower, but the handling of the turns. And right now, Mr. Kessler in the 91, Chucky Kessler, probably the hottest ride going in Pro Stock division at least at this stage of the season. Maybe not for the entire season. I think that goes without saying. That belongs to Jeff Dunbar in the number 07, the powder blue car, which is working the low line for that 2nd place position below Wingard right now, trying to move up to take the lead, but it is Kessler, the hot shoe, holding on to the point position. Dunbar right now manages to get his way into 2nd. He'll set his sights on Kessler running at the point.
Well, and as Dunbar does that, it will, again, set up the cat and mouse scenario between those two. We move on in the event. Actually, we're coming around with only 2 laps remaining, and Chuck Kessler has held on to the lead, and Dunbar's been working methodically, lap after lap, to try to close in. He's within a car length, and he loses a car length, and he closes back up. Watch when he goes into turn, Steve. He tightens right up on the Kessler 91 machine, and as he comes out of turn 4, we're going to take it here to the white flag and to a call.
They go into turns 1 and 2. Jeff Dunbar tries the low side on Kessler. Kessler denies it to him. Down the back straightaway. Dunbar stays low. Kessler in the middle groove. Now Kessler tries to guard the low side. Jeff Dunbar tucks right under him. Out of turn 4. Kessler gets squarely. Dunbar goes low. Kessler stays up high and holds him by a car lane.
For the 2nd time this weekend, Chuck Kessler picking up a win. He won the previous night's racing at Motordrome Speedway in Smithton.
Yeah, and he won that more than a head there at the finish, too.
Yes, he certainly did. Chuck Kessler with the win. Jeff Dunbar, after doing all that work, has to settle for 2nd place. Mike Hemming of the rookie sensation finishes 3rd in this 25-lap main for the Pure Stocks. Back to victory lane, smiling Chucky Kessler. Let's go to a commercial.
First you hear it.
Hardy fighting for his life, holding on to the lead, and everybody's challenging.
Then you see it.
Darkness goes up high. Dunbar right there on the wall.
Then you feel it. Right to your own marrow. It's the NASCAR Winston Racing Series every Saturday at Jennerstown Speedway. Don't starve your senses. Bring your entertainment appetite and prepare to feast at Jennerstown.
Do you want a career that's in demand? Consider training as an automotive technician. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, demand is rising for skilled automotive technicians. National education centers can train you to become
Thunder and Lightning Division, the Riverside Bilo Street Stocks. No, you're not seeing double in this half hour. This is their regularly scheduled 20-lap affair for this evening's activities. We saw that Laurel Highlands event earlier in the program. There's a look at the top 3 rows.
Randy Dietrich and Mark Gordon. Hasn't he been in every race tonight, I think? No, just this is his 3rd race.
Every race where there's a red car and a 30 on the side of it, he's been in.
Okay, we're going to bring the field up to speed for, this is only the 20-lap main. We already ran the 50. And is Randy Dietrich having problems? Oh, my goodness, doesn't get the car up to speed. And everybody manages to rush to his outside. We don't really have anything more than incidental contact, and we're up to speed now. Everybody in racing. Oh, and it is a flock of cars down the back straight.
And as they work down there, look at Yvette Hahn in that 65 machine. Boy, after the first race and all kinds of havoc there, she's not, she dirt tracks the car there, and everybody begins to jam up behind her, but she's not easily intimidated, so she stays right out in that bridesmaid spot. Look at 3 wide trying to move around here. Now, we're going to move on in the event. This is a restart after lap 13, and we still have Corden out front. Everybody's been closing up on him. Yvette Hahn eventually gave way in second place position, and that flock that was behind her is now behind the 30 machine, including Carl Trevera up high in the 5, the 37 of Rick Mielap, the 57 of Marty Edwards is personally guaranteeing there's some chrome fender bending going on out there.
He's knocking on the door of Mr. Trevero, and Carl says, that's okay, I'll just go a little bit faster and you won't be able to bump my back bumper. It is Trevero on the point position. Marty Edwards slides by Corden high on the outside. He manages to work his way up to second. Corden slips back to third, but Carl Trevero holds the point position, looking for, I think, a first win
This would be a career first for him as he works into turns 3 and 4. The Hooversville, Pennsylvania pilot still hanging on to it. He's kind of a sophomore driver, actually 2.5 years experience. But we have a problem. Barry Gary gets into the wall with his Ford automobile. The number 9, he lost a wheel. That's a third wheel we've lost in the racing program this evening. So we go back to restart, and we're going to concentrate on this lead battle right into turns 1 and 2.
Trevero continuing to hold on to the point position. Marty Edwards in second. This is the battle for third. Rick Mielap working the low line of Mark Corden as this field works its way down the back straight. Trevero again with the lead. Marty Edwards trying to play catch-up. That's the battle for third place, and that's really quite a battle going on right there with Mark the Cobra Corden in third place at the moment. But look at this, Marty Edwards sliding low to the low side of Carl Trevero, takes the lead as the field works its way down through turns 1 and 2.
The Jeanette, Pennsylvania driver, the Nature Sparkling Water, 57 Monte Carlo hangs on the lead. This is the last lap. He's way out in the lead. That is the 57 of Marty Edwards. But here's the battle for second, going all the way to the checkered. At about this point, Edwards has crossed the line. Here he is for the checkered flag. And here comes the battle for second. It's a close one. Sean the Bullet Beam takes it right over Carl Trevero's automobile. And there's a look at the top 5.
Trevero, after doing all that work, has to settle for the third place finish. Edwards gets the win, though. Beam in second. Rick Mielap in fourth. Marty Edwards with the win in the 2011